The Black Widow 3.0, designed to perform on heavier oil conditions, was released 2 years ago now. Hammer have just announced the Black Widow 3.0 Dynasty, and there's actually now 5 Black Widow balls in the current lineup: the 2.0, the 3.0, the Mania, the Tor V1, and now the 3.0 Dynasty. And it does pose the question as to whether the 3.0 is still worth buying in 2026, 2 years later. As we all know, there are so many bowling balls being released each year. I mean, it's literally over 100 every year. So since the 2.0 has been released, there probably has been about 200 bowling balls released. Because of that, bowling balls are obviously coming and going a lot quicker. The exception to that are certain very popular lines, like the Widow line, where these balls will stay for a long time. But the problem is, because you've got so many other balls, it can be very easy to miss out on some really, really good ones. And like I said, because there's now 5 Black Widow balls in the lineup, it's certainly possible that many people out there actually missed out on the 3.0. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you some clips of me throwing the 3.0, discussing whether it's still a good idea to buy it in 2026 or whether you should just go ahead and buy the 3.0 Dynasty instead. I'll talk about both of those balls, compare the Dynasty to the original 3.0, and talk about which you might need and when. The 3.0 was designed essentially to be the first ball out of your bag to deal with heavier conditions. It's a solid reactive, just like the 2.0, but the cover was upgraded with a solid version of HK22. And of course, it has the famous gas mark core in there as well. So obviously, we're watching some clips of me testing this ball out. I went with a pin down drilling here, just to try and smooth it out a little bit, because I felt that otherwise, it's such a strong core. I've used the Hammer Pink Black Widow urethane before, and that turns so much on the back end. It's so strong. So I did have an idea of potentially how strong that core could be. So yeah, I went with a pin down drilling. I was bowling on pretty dry lanes. As you can see, when it does hit the dry or when I'm a little bit soft on it, it just takes off. So I had to keep my speed up here, but I could tell straight away that this ball would be spot on for heavier conditions. Straight away in my mind where this could sit for me, I'm a big fan of the gem balls. I use the Magic Gem and the original gem a lot, and I think this could sit for me personally in between those two, because sometimes the Magic Gem, it's pretty much what I'd call a down and in ball, but a very, very strong one. I find that gem is great when I want to just keep my angles tight, but just have that motion I'm looking for on a heavier condition. And then the gem can be very, very strong indeed. So I think that would sit somewhere in between the two. I mean, you can see that the 3.0 definitely has a very strong motion, and it's definitely going to be a ball that I will use on heavier conditions for sure. Now, I mentioned the urethane, the Pink Widow urethane, that at times was almost uncontrollable, but I didn't really get the sense that that was the case for this ball. I think the pin down drilling definitely helps, but overall, I still felt like I had control over this one. There is a reason why the Black Widow line is still so popular. It gives bowlers a certain shape that they're looking for, and I could see that here, and I was very happy with what I saw. It just wasn't 100% ideal for the lanes that I was bowling on at all. I just had to make some adjustments and really keep my speed up high, but the carry was excellent. I was very impressed with how hard the ball seemed to hit the pins, but that just seems to be normal now with hammer balls. They just seem to absolutely destroy the pins, and this was no exception. And before we talk about a comparison between the 3.0 and the Dynasty, this was the shot of the day where I left the 410 here, and then I couldn't really be bothered to wait for my ball to come back, so I just picked up an 11-pound house ball, threw it down the lane, and made the spare. So that was shot of the day. Strangest / luckiest strike of the day was this one. I'm not quite sure what happened or how this struck, and this was the best strike of the day. So let's now talk about the Black Widow Dynasty. Now, these two have the same numbers, obviously the same core. The difference is the cover stock. The 3.0 has the HK22 Aggression solid cover stock. The Dynasty has HK22C cohesion solid cover stock, and essentially what that means is it's meant to provide more overall hook than the 2.0 and more length and flip compared to the Black Widow 3.0. Hammer claimed that this is the strongest Black Widow to date, and will be a step down from balls like the Maximum Effect and the Zero Mercy Solid. Now, I haven't thrown the Dynasty yet. I am going to be doing a full review video and a full comparison between the 3.0 and the Dynasty, but I can imagine that this ball is going to hook a lot. And the main thing to take away here is that this is the strongest Black Widow to date. But it might be that the Dynasty is not quite right for you right now. Maybe you feel like you've got quite a few balls in that range so far. You know, really the key differences between the two is the shape down lane. I think that the 3.0 feels to me to be a lot earlier, and then obviously the Dynasty is stronger, but it's going to go down the lane longer. So if you're trying to make a decision between the two, I guess it really comes down to what shape you're looking for. If you're looking for a ball that's going to hook a lot earlier, then I think clearly that the 3.0 is the one. If you're looking for something that's going to give you more length but give you a lot of punch down lane, then obviously the Dynasty is the one for you. And even though it is the strongest Widow, it still doesn't look too strong. It still looks very, very controllable and usable. But like I said, I will be doing a full review video for it, and I'll be doing a comparison of the two balls so you can see them both in action at the same time. So let's answer the question of this video, and that's whether the 3.0 is still worth buying 2 years later in 2026. It feels not very fashionable to buy old bowling balls now when you've got so many others coming out. You know, you're like a kid in a candy shop where you're just seeing shiny new bowling balls everywhere, and those older ones just get forgotten about. But my verdict is do not forget about the 3.0. That ball is definitely still worth getting in 2026. Just like the whole Black Widow line, it's held up and it will continue to hold up. There is a reason that the Widow line has been going for now 20 years. It's just so good. And a 3.0, to be honest, would still be worth buying in 2027, 2028, and probably into 2030. If you've had your eye on the 3.0 for a little while now, then I would say go for it. This is a very good ball, and I really enjoyed using this one, and it genuinely will be a ball that I will use quite a lot. I can tell you that now. I think it's going to give me something quite different to what I've got so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it out, particularly on some heavier conditions where I think it will really start to thrive. I hope this video was of use to you, and I'd really appreciate your feedback, because this is a new type of video that I'm doing where I look at some of the balls that are older now and to take a bit of a deeper dive into them, because it's all very well looking at a ball when it first comes out, but really the most valuable information is to know how it holds up, because the longer you have a ball, the more information obviously becomes available, the more testing. So yeah, I think it's valuable to take a look back at some of the older balls that were released, and I've got plans to do that for a few balls that were released from mid 2025 onwards. So let me know if you like the idea of this and if there's any balls that you'd like me to do this kind of video for. I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed this one, so you don't miss out on my future videos, including the review of the Black Widow 3.0 Dynasty. Well, that is going to do it from me for today, and as always, thank you bowling fans, and see you all next time.